I got scammed on Amazon. Sort of. About 18 months ago, a bit more, I made a video about scams. The longest thing we've made. Didn't do too bad. 1.5 million views almost. And I make a joke in that about the fact that I was being chased around the internet almost by this woman, Sophie Howard, who was trying to sell me on a sort of scheme whereby I could quickly and easily make lots of money, or some money at least, on the Kindle store by churning out low effort books. Her suggestion is that, so she's very big on the fact that ebooks are going to be the next big thing. And she's very much like, this is a underutilized market. No one else is doing this. Which of course isn't quite true. But on top of that, her business model, magic as it is, means that you can make a huge amount of money, or again, some money at least, publishing through the Kindle store without writing a book at all. And I have, out of morbid curiosity, whilst making that video, watched her not really live seminar about how to do this. And broadly speaking, some of it is that you could hire in ghostwriters to write books for you. So I can't remember exactly what the figure is she uses, but she suggests you can get someone in super cheap and they can write a book for you and you can make money selling that. The second option is that you can go onto the Project Gutenberg, download an old public domain book. I don't know, what can we look at? You can download The Wealth of Nations off Project Gutenberg, slap a new cover on it, upload it to the Kindle store and sell that. The third one, of course, these days, is that you can write it using ChatGPT, send it off, and publish it there. Now, Black Crow's Frost saying, man, writing the book is the fun part. Yeah, I mean, the kind of AI framing of it is this fascinating look into a future that some people seem to quite like the look of, in which computers do all the tasks which I would have thought of as being the fun, creative ones, whilst we, mere humans, sort of dust the servers and do all the boring tasks. And, looking through websites like these, it's easy to come away and be like, well, this wouldn't work. If you follow through Sophie Howard's sales funnel, I think is the phrase that gets used, you will find that it's, she wants $2,000 off you, at least, to be able to go on her course to learn how to do this. And are you likely to make $2,000 back from it? Especially if you also are going to pay a ghostwriter, more than $1,000 to write the book. If you're going to advertise that book on Amazon to get people to buy it, etc. Maybe some people make it work, but it does seem like almost impossible, right, to make work. Because despite this sort of idea that sales of ebooks might have skyrocketed. However, the publishing industry is kind of old. Publishing is, we can say there's not much competition in publishing, but the fact that we can say there's not much competition in English language publishing at all is because there's like 5 publishing houses that have a sort of oligopoly over English language publishing. So not only are you trying to compete in an exceptionally mature industry, you're also trying to compete in one that is oversaturated. There are a huge amount of books published every single year. And I can go down to the disclaimer. The huge amount of books published every year, many, many, many books published every day. There are more people writing books and publishing them than there is a market for those books. And the challenge is that the big publishers are very good at shaping reader demand, right? And so it's easy to sort of like chuckle at these things and then go, you can never make it work. And then, this Christmas, I was sat in my very living room with my family who I had invited over, and we were having some food. I'd made some pizzas, having a good time on Christmas Eve, and we did some gifts to one another. This year, my sister had got us a crepe maker. So like a sort of crepe hob thing. Are these something we're broadly aware of the existence of? Effectively, a big hob that you can make a crepe and or galette on in the sort of French style, which was a very, very lovely gift. It was also it was a reasonably decent one as well. Very thoughtful, but alongside the crepe maker itself, going above and beyond, my sister also bought us a crepe cookbook with, and I'm quoting the front cover here now. Can you see this? Yeah, you can. Delicious crepe recipes for every meal. Now, somehow, I have kind of developed an eye for print-on-demand books. I think these are books whereby a publishing house or like just person that is selling books for some reason is unsure of how many they're going to sell, and therefore decides that what they're going to do is they're going to set up a deal with, for example, Amazon or somewhere else to effectively print the book only when it is ordered. So Amazon do this, and what they do is basically, if you don't want to print 1,000 copies of your book and take that upfront risk of just having 1,000 books in your house, you can basically set up your book on Amazon, and what they will do is they will only print one when it's ordered. Sublink says a lot of clothing is print on demand as well, and it's crap. Yeah, a lot of the kind of stuff you'll see on a lot of like cheap merch that you see on the internet, or a lot of, the like I'm a blank t-shirts. Is this going to come up? Targeted shirts. Thank you, Georgia. I forgot there's a whole subreddit for these. So, yeah, I'm not a perfect son, but my crazy mum loves me, and that is enough. She's a bit crazy, doubling down on that, and scares me sometimes, but I love her and she is my best friend. You hurt me, and they'll never find your body. Yes, she bought me this t-shirt. Christian, white, straight, unwoke, unvaxxed, gun owner, meat eater, and Trump supporter. How else can I piss you off today? I'm not. So these ones in particular, like, I'm not a perfect daughter, but my crazy dad loves me, and that is enough. He's a bit crazy. Blimey, these are. I farted. That's as close to giving a shit as you're going to get. Sorry, I'm already taken by a sexy and crazy girl. So all of these, they don't sell enough of these weird, very specific shirts to be able to print a load and have them somewhere. They will like print them as they are ordered and they'll send them to you. Often they'll take a little while. Amazon in particular has a really sophisticated setup for this as part of their Kindle Direct Publishing program. So Kindle Direct Publishing is the thing that Sophie Howard will have been talking about when she's like, you can upload a book to Kindle and you can sell it on the Kindle store through the Kindle Direct Publishing program. You can also now often, right, you can buy this book that Sophie Howard herself has uploaded to Here we go. The ChatGPT Millionaire, which I'm going to assume... I mean, this has got a hardback, so maybe not. But lots of these books, these like self-published books these days, it will be that someone has uploaded it to be purchasable on the Kindle store, but then Amazon also offers the option that you can like tick a box and they go, yeah, also someone can opt to buy it in paperback, and when they order it, but only when they order it, we will print out a copy and send them to you. These tend to, however, have like some telltale signs. So this one, for example, has can I angle it in such a way? So this here says printed in Great Britain by Amazon. So if you ever get a book and it says that in the background, it's probably been printed on demand. But what often you'll find is they have this kind of shiny cover that you just don't often get on a book that's been printed in the usual way. However, they do them in the like printing machines, like Capital is Dead by Mackenzie Walk. Like there's just something ever so slightly different about this material, and also like that lovely paper that you get with paperback books. It's also like it's not quite that paper. It feels more like slightly thicker printer paper. So I've sort of developed... Okay, this is says telltale signs also, no ISBN and no publisher's name on the spine. Yeah, so this one has nothing on the spine, presumably because it's just difficult to print on the spine, like, and it's difficult to design a book to be able to print on the thing. This one does have an ISBN, so you can get ISBNs relatively easily, but lots of them won't do. This is like, yeah, you can see the text through. But this is okay paper, at least. This is, in like a strange way, this is this is a serviceable thing. There's just something about it and about these print-on-demand books that you can kind of tell that they are just a little bit different to a book which is printed not on demand, usually. So as sort of this was being unwrapped, I was like, oh, if this feels... Something about this looks print on demand. I wonder what it's going to be like inside. I mean, the first thing I did was look at the back cover. And I don't know if you can tell, but like looking at this, again, there's something about the margins maybe, something about the size of the text, something about the kind of sort of lack of matter on it. So this is a paperback, this is, I guess, it's not an academic book, but it's like a kind of vaguely within that world. But, there's sort of quotes from people, there's like a little bit of pricing information, who's designed it, the website of the company. This has that. It's not, like, brilliantly done. But then I was reading it, and I was like, this is weirdly vague, okay? So it says... Book-Sumo Press is a publisher of unique, easy and healthy cookbooks. Our cookbooks span all topics and all subjects. If you want a deep dive into the possibilities of cooking with any type of ingredient... That's just the end of a sentence there. Then Book-Sumo Press is your go-to place for robust yet simple and delicious cookbooks and recipes. Whether you are looking for great tasting pressure cooker recipes or authentic, ethic and cultural food. I assume that's meant to be ethnic food, which also not a phrase that I think we're still using. Book-Sumo Press has a delicious and easy cookbook for you. Is the cookbook delicious? I'm not sure. With simple ingredients and even simpler step-by-step instructions, no comma, Book-Sumo cookbooks get everyone in the kitchen chefing delicious meals. I love to chef. Me? Book-Sumo is an independent publisher of books operating in the beautiful Garden State, New Jersey, and our team of food lovers are here to teach, eat, and be merry. So there's some telltale signs, right? There are some telltale signs in this in this blurb that maybe this is not going to be incredible insight. But also, it could be a mistake. I have read real, professionally published stuff which has spelling mistakes in, right? It happens. This is just telling us about the publisher. There is no information about this specific book. So again, like, it feels like it could have just been copied and pasted. So then we get to inside. Now, it hadn't really dawned on me before I thought, oh, let's have a look inside this book. How strange maybe the concept of a crepe cookbook is. Because crepes are kind of like, the crepe itself is reasonably one note. Okay, I will say, you know, the crepe is generally outside of France overrepresented in contrast to the galette. Like, a galette is made with like buckwheat flour, I want to say. Yeah. But it's effectively the same thing, but made with a slightly different kind of flour. And it's like a bit more savoury. So usually you would have your like ham and cheese with a buckwheat version of a crepe. But essentially you just use a different flour. Yeah, outside of France, generally we often stick with the kind of golden crepe as per here. And so I guess it's maybe this is going to be a book of fillings. It wasn't until I looked inside that I really thought about how strange the concept of a crepe cookbook was. I was fully on board for this, to learn the ways of the crepe. Also, like, maybe they're going to just talk about fillings, right? And there's going to be loads of different crepe fillings, and they're going to be fascinating, and I'm not going to have thought about them before. You know, we can all have a Nutella crepe, but maybe there's all kinds of other things that we could be having in our crepes. And then I opened it and began to have a little look through. So we start. This is not what this medium was built for. Me trying to hold the pages so that you can see them. So it starts with crepe cookbook. Prepare all types of tasty crepes with an easy crepe cookbook filled with delicious crepe recipes, by Book-Sumo Press. They're very big on the publisher. I've never read a book that is so big on the publisher. And you actually get quite a lot of recipes. The first thing you will notice before we go any further is the names for the crepes are kind of wild. So the first one is Joe's Berry Crepes, but then the second recipe is going to be for a batter, make ahead batter. Then the third recipe is going to be crepes for one. I like it when they start to do different countries and stuff. So we've got Mediterranean goat cheese crepes. Maybe that's okay. Crepes in Slovenia. I don't know what that's going to be. Stuffed Italian crepes. Crepes in Florence. We have Crepes California, old German style crepes. But then sometimes we just have skinny girl crepes. We have friendship crepes. Lasagna crepes. I do want to very quickly skip ahead and see what they are. Is it going to be Oh my god, it's not. It's crepes turned into lasagna. Okay. We have, what were some of my like Alaskan layered crepes? Yeah, they've really leaned in, as Zio is saying, to sort of crepes and a place. I quite like it when it gets to sort of West Indian cheese crepes, because maybe in the West Indies they do eat a lot of crepes, but it's not the place which is known for them. And then you start to read the recipes. And what you'll find is that this book is, I mean, it's the opposite to looking up recipes on the internet, because it really does just go for it with just the recipe. There is no addition, there's no long story. Like, this book, just to clarify, has no introduction section where Francine, who has been creating crepes all her life, tells you about when she ate her first crepe and why she loves them. There's nothing for each recipe. This is bare bones, right? But then it literally just launches into it, and you just get pages upon pages of recipe. My favourite thing structurally about the book is that the order is wild. As I mentioned a moment ago, the first one is Joe's Berry Crepes, which feels like advanced to me. That feels like advanced crepe stuff is happening there. Whereas the Makerhead batter is recipe 2. The Makerhead batter, the thing that seems to separate it from just a normal crepe is that you put it in the fridge for an hour. Crepes for 1 is distinguished by the fact there's just less ingredients in it. Simple crepe formula, which, were I writing this book about crepes, would probably be recipe number 1. Simple crepe formula is actually on page 41, like halfway through the book. I folded the page down because I was so excited to learn this. And also, simple crepe formula, for some reason, is this the one that uses... Oh, no, there's another one, sorry. I'm sort of mildly obsessed with this book. Later on, we get one... Oh, am I going to find it? It's not my favourite. There are so many of these. Sorry, just to clarify, there's 114 pages of these. This says, what if I printed off a load of recipes off the internet? I mean, one thing you'll find is that most of all of these... So, I said a moment ago that when I really started to think about it, I thought, oh, what kind of world of crepes is there that I'm not aware of? And it turns out, not really one at all. Because basically, the first, 3, 4, 5, 6 stages of any of these recipes is sort of make a crepe. This thing is all over the place. And yet I'm sort of fascinated by it. I cannot believe that this is anything but just ChatGPT or a similar AI tool having been told, write me a book of crepe recipes. I'm fascinated that we've got to the point where if you go on Amazon and you try and buy a recipe book, that the powers that be at Amazon are happy that you will get nonsense. So earlier on, we looked at the fact that it spoke about the publisher a lot. And so I really wanted to Google, search the publisher. Because I was like, okay, well, is it going to exist across multiple books? Is this their only book? At the very basic level, I was interested in, can I find this book and see, what the listing is like? Because clearly it won over my sister, right? And so I searched. I think I did search first. And the first thing I searched was just crepe cookbook to see what would come up. Little did I know, but number 4 currently, if you search for crepe cookbook, is Crepe Cookbook, Delicious Crepe Recipes for Every Meal by Booksumo Press. The fascinating thing, though, is I got here and realised that it has 626 ratings and 4.4 stars. And if you look at those reviews, they are all, or for the most part, incredibly positive. DD Gott from Donna D's Corner says, I guess that if anything is true, I have learnt that cooking is not easy for a person like me. I didn't learn how to cook growing up. I always was outside working with my dad, my head under the hood of a big rig and fetching tools. My brothers hated working with him, and I was the only one that loved it. I did learn how to fend for myself with cars and almost anything else. My dad always said that it was good to be a girl, but that girl needed to know how to be self-sufficient. Well, I definitely am that, thanks to him. Oh, and he always made me wear gloves to that I would still have soft hands without grease under the nails, lol. That being said, I've collected cookbooks so that I can fix anything that I want. I love having the digital ones, they don't take up any space. Also, having a small family now that the kids and grandkids are grown, having a cookbook is the only way to go in making smaller portions. Wow. Yeah, what a tale, as Zeod says. What a fascinating story which really went nowhere. Paul says, I enjoy simple recipes with simple ingredients, and this book gave them to me with a wide variety of recipes, simple format, and well-written directions. Included are nutritional information as well. Greatly enjoyed, thanks. Mac says, the crepe recipes are delicious. So basically, all of the reviews, as I went through and had a look, are kind of to this effect. They're incredibly vague. Lots of them are weirdly wordy. Tautological saying reviews looking sus. Tim 1986 says must be AI. And yeah, right? I came away from this and I was like, this is weird. That this, I mean, like, people don't review things. Like, you can, like, there are popular books on Amazon that nevertheless have very few, I don't know. Capital is Dead, you know, not the most popular, not the most, like, not a book for the widest of audiences, and yet still reasonably popular, has 64 ratings. Silicon Values, another book I've got on the side. Again, moderately popular, not for everyone, but still only has 37. What can we find? Bowling Alone by Robert Putnam. Not the most recent of books, yet a very popular one, a kind of book that is a book that if you are in a polite company having a conversation about the state of the world is one which could come up. This only has 960 reviews, and yet Crepe Cookbook, delicious crepe recipes for every meal, has 626. So, like, there is clearly a big effort going on here. So what I ended up doing was going from Crepe Cookbook to explore what more of a world there might be here from Book Sumo Press. You know, our favourite publisher of unique, easy, and healthy cookbooks. And what I found was that they actually publish pretty much every cookbook you could imagine. They also sometimes publish As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. But they do Brazil and Portugal. They do summer picnic foods, easy picnic food, great picnic food, simple picnic food ideas, dessert to make. They have desserts to make. They have quick dessert recipe. They have desserts, sweet treats for the entire family. They have easy pasta recipes, easy yogurt cookbook, easy pierogi cookbook. I don't actually know what pierogi is. Effectively, what they have is an entire slate of things that you might search in the Amazon search bar. They will have the book for you. And they must be churning these things out, or at some point they have been churning these things out. Surely this is going to stop at some point. No. It's interesting. So if you do them by publication date, you can see that they're not only churning out books, and they're not only churning out books to hit certain audiences by doing ones about certain cuisines, but they're doing it but they're also essentially, it looks like, doing multiple versions of each book. So you do one called Asian Food Dishes, you do one called Asian Dishes to Cook, one called Easy Asian Meals, one called Asian food ideas, one called healthy Asian meals, one called Asian soup recipes, Asian cooking recipes, easy Asian dinner recipes. And then you can kind of see which cover, I guess you can A/B test each cover and title. Easy picnic food, simple picnic food ideas, great picnic food, summer picnic foods, picnic salads, picnic recipe ideas, foods to have at a picnic. What a wild name for a book. Food to bring to a picnic, best picnic recipes, best picnic food ideas, picnic meal ideas, picnic recipes, As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. But I'm fascinated that whoever is in charge at Amazon is like happy that this is the scenario that they have. You know, we were sort of joking about Faulkner coming up a bunch then, but you know, I'm someone who fairly regularly reads old-ish books, and sometimes I will download them from Gutenberg Project if I think there's going to be a good version of those. But sometimes I will go on to the Kindle store and be like, do you know what? It's important to me that I have a good edition of this particular book because I want to make sure the layout is okay and that there's not errors and there's not that kind of thing. And sometimes it is quite difficult to find that. And finding like a legitimately good version is really difficult. So if, like, I don't know, looking at the Wealth of Nations or something and trying to find a good version, that can be really hard to find a version that is good and that isn't someone has just downloaded it off the Gutenberg Project and then added a new cover on it and uploaded it. And it is wild to me that Amazon is just okay with this as a scenario. And I'm sure that I'm sure it would be a struggle to deal with this. But it seems bonkers to me that like something like this surely is really obvious. Like a Book Sumo Press scenario with all the fake reviews and the size of it. Like surely there is a team that should be looking for that kind of thing. But hey, you know, you look back at those sort of get rich quick things and you think, you know, I thought that this would be ludicrous, but clearly it's working for some people.